Known as the melting pot, the United States is famed for the various cultures planted in this country. The cultures I will highlight in this speech are the Native Americans, Chinese and Asian culture and influence, the African American culture, and the Mexican culture. Each of these cultures have a place in American history and have influenced and shaped the way that America is today. These diverse cultures also have brought their own rituals and beliefs into America, but adapted so it fits into the American society. This is one reason why America is called the melting pot. Thousands of years before Christopher Columbus's ships landed in the Bahamas, a different group of people discovered America. In fact, by the time European adventurers arrived in the 15th century, scholars estimate that more than 50 million people were already living in the Americas. Of these, some 10 million lived in the area that would be beyond the United States. The Native Americans were nearly driven out of America by the harshness of the people invading America, as they were greatly mistreated but still stood their ground and have a place in the culture in America. So many aspects of our modern life were adapted from the old Indian cultures, practiced centuries ago. Many familiar symbols that we take for granted were originated by the Native Americans. A few inventions from the Native Americans that are still around nowadays are native plants, clothing, and drums. The natives were polytheistic, henotheistic, animistic, or some combination thereof. Traditional beliefs are usually passed down in the forms of oral histories, stories, allegories, and principles, and rely on face-to-face teaching in one's family and community. Another form of belief for the natives were worshiping the sun, moon, stars, and other elements of nature. The Chinese American community is the largest overseas Chinese community outside Asia. The Chinese American community comprises the largest ethnic group of Asian Americans, comprising 26% of the Asian American population as of 2010. Americans of Chinese descent, including those with partial Chinese ancestry, constitute over 1.2% of the total U.S. population as of 2010. According to the 2010 census, the Chinese American population numbered approximately 3.8 million. A survey was taken on the religion of Chinese Americans, and 15% were Buddhist, 8% were Catholic, and 22% belonged to a Protestant denomination. Half of the Chinese people remain non-religious. African Americans have a very deep and somewhat dark history of their culture in America. Although slavery greatly restricted the ability of African Americans to practice their original cultural traditions, many practices, values, and beliefs survived, and over time have modified and or blended with European cultures and other cultures such as that of Native Americans. African American identity was established during the slavery period, producing a dynamic culture that has had and continues to have a profound impact on American culture as a whole. The beliefs of African Americans consist of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or no beliefs at all. A few elements of African American culture that they express themselves with are art, music, fashion, among others. The United States is home to the second largest Mexican community in the world, second only to Mexico itself, and comprising more than 24% of the entire Mexican origin population of the world. Over 60% of Mexican Americans reside in either California or Texas. In 2015, the United States admitted over 150,000 Mexican immigrants, and as of November of 2016, 1.3 million Mexicans were on the waiting list to immigrate to the United States through legal means. The Mexican Americans face a large amount of discrimination in America and are unfortunately placed under a lot of stereotypes. From personal experience, Mexican Americans are some of the hardest working people I have seen in my life and will take on any job to provide for their family. The three main religions of Mexicans are Christianity, Catholicism, and others. These four cultures have helped shape the way America runs today and give America the taste it has. The Native Americans give America the taste of its past and present, African Americans give America a great amount of its soul and the struggles it overcame to be where it is today. And the Chinese and Mexican American cultures show how hardworking Americans can be. All of these cultures have shaped America into what it is today. Thank you.